Luke Shaw is back, ladies and gentlemen. Shaw is back training on grass. Should we be happy, applauding, or should we say, again, here he is again to confuse us? Listen, we should be happy about any returnee. I'm going to tell you exactly why. The return of Luke Shaw is good news for Manchester United. Meanwhile, Aiden Heaven too is there. We also know that apparently Man United are changing their strategy when it comes to recruiting players. We've been talking strikers and strikers and strikers and strikers and wing backs. Guess what? Could you have imagined that Man United could be contemplating signing a senior striker, rather a senior defender, to help the young defenders at the club? Subscribe to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Let's get it. It's a Sunday, and of course, it's always the day of faith. I've got utmost faith that this time around, when Luke Shaw returns, he's going to stay for some bit of time, honestly. He needs it. He needs it already. Lewis Kelly is taking his place on the England national team. We also know that at Man United, we've got Lenny Yoro, we've got Aiden Heaven, we've got Dogu. I mean, no chance for him. But the truth is, okay, here's the thing. So Luke Shaw is back training on grass, and according to what we get, all factors constant, he will be fully available after the international break. Now, so is Aiden Heaven, who is also training, but expected to be, of course, joining the team after the international break. Of course, to many, Aiden Heaven is the future. You're not going to focus on Luke Shaw, a guy who is always sick. Yet you have a promising youngster who is always there and willing to fight and, of course, hungry to establish himself in the team. But the thing with Luke Shaw and why I think many of us should be excited, or all of us should be happy, is that even if we want to sell Luke Shaw, certainly we can't sell a sick player. A player who has been out for so long, who is going to give you money? And Luke Shaw is a player who certainly has got some good years in him if he were to be fit, because he's only, I think, 28 or thereabout. So such a player, I think, is one who can bring in some good money. Imagine if Luke Shaw was 100% fit. How much money would we sell him for? I would imagine somewhere in excess of 30 million, which is reasonable money for Manchester United to be pocketing in right now for a player like him who is clearly surplus to requirements. So for me, it's a good thing that even if we want to sell him returning gives us a chance to try and, of course, bargain and hope that we can bring in a little fee for him. But also, there's so many youngsters we want and we're excited about, certainly need a little bit of seniors around them to learn from. Now, if it's a left back or even wing back, anywhere in the world, if you've got an opportunity to learn from Luke Shaw, that's heaven sent. That's a godsend, because Luke Shaw is on a fit day. Luke Shaw is one of the best 3 left backs in world football. That's it. That's known. So I think it's a good thing for kids like Aiden Heaven, kids like Lenny Yoro, to have him around them for some time, for some bit of time. They can learn a thing or two from him, even if it will take time for him to be able 100% to execute the things that a left back is expected to execute. So all that, and also knowing how important Amorim views him, in terms of how he wants to play, how special a player he is, both for club and country. So Luke Shaw's return for me is definitely going to be something I'll be happy about, applaud. Sad that his career at Man United is going down the drain like that, defined more by injuries than his skill. But I mean, for me, there's a positive that we can look to around him and his entire situation at the club. So that's my honest opinion on Luke Shaw. So returning, but let's get proper into the transfer talk. So there is a report I read somewhere, and I thought it opened my mind that we might be focusing on Man United signing a new striker, probably a more experienced striker for the young ones to learn from. But what about the defenders? We would think Harry Maguire could be that defender who the young Lenny Yoros and Aiden Heavens, name them, could learn from. But like the kid coming, Diego Leon, I mean, but look, Harry Maguire is not that player. Johnny Evans is never there. He's not that player as well. And we've got high potential youngsters, even in defense. We've got high potential youngsters in the team. How about we still think about signing a big, more experienced centre-back to try and organize the back line and the team, and also even these Delites, yes, good as he is, Mathis De Ligt can learn a thing or two from a more experienced player in the team. And someone was mentioning actually a player like Sergio Ramos. Of course, Ramos is way too old. And of course, signing a player like Ramos, would get people thinking, this is United going again, doing the same mistakes that the John Matters and Richard Arnolds were doing when they were at the helm of the club, because signing old players who will certainly ask for a lot of money doesn't make sense. But if you think about it in view of helping these so many talented, because in all departments we've got so many young players, so these young players will always need those more senior established players to learn a thing or two from, in terms of how you carry yourself, how you manage your body, how you recover and stuff. So are those players going to be Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, or are we going to look at better players, say a player like Antonio Rudiger, who is in the evening of his time at Real Madrid, but certainly is a big player and big enough to come in and played in the Premier League before, did even win the Champions League with Chelsea. This is a player you think can come in at Man United and help Lenny Yoro, even Mazraoui, even all these other centre-backs we have. The elite can learn a thing or two from him because his elite mentality, that's one, but also he's a respected player who has won everything big there is to win. So perhaps we might want to think of that as well going forward for Man United. Do we bring in a more experienced centre-back to support the young ones? Let's not just get carried away by the so many young talented players that we have, the prospects. They need to be mentored. They need guidance from seniors around them. So maybe that could twist the transfer window for us and perhaps mean a bit of a different thing for Manchester United going forward. Give me your 2 cents about that, whether you think we should go ahead with that or we should stick to what we have and just focus on a striker, as many of you are excited about a new striker. What do you think? I actually think it makes sense that we lack that really reliable, dependable, experienced centre-back in the team. Harry Maguire he's not your world-class centre-back per se. He is experienced, not world-class. Johnny Evans neither. Do we need an Antonio Rudiger rather? Do we need an Antonio Rudiger in that back line? Can he come in handy? What can he add to the team? Maybe that's something we should think about as Man United going forward. Drop your comment and let me know what you think. Are you happy about Luke Shaw's return, or is it same old? Come 2 days, injured again, blah, 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 and we go back and back and back, paying nearly £150,000 per week for him to be more in the sick bay than on the pitch. Give me your 2 cents about it as you subscribe to the United Road Sport. Like, share, and of course, I'll catch you later.